This is Dillon Dilligaf. Tonight, Tickle Me Comedy Club podcast number 25. Thanks for coming and thanks for watching. We every week we have a great time. We interview, to just chit chat with new comedians, folks we haven't talked to before. We're going to have an awesome time tonight. I'll get to who our guest is in just a couple minutes. But I wanted to just tell you about our sponsors tonight, the Tickle Me Comedy Club and the Blue Zone Comedy Tour, which I happen to be a part of. Blue Zone Comedy Tour is a group that specializes in comics with disabilities, and so we try to get disabled comics out and about, and for everyone to see and everybody to enjoy their comedy. Tickle Me Comedy Club, it's kind of on sabbatical right now during the pandemic, but they're still when the pandemic's over, we'll be back in business with that too. So when the pandemic's over, we're open for business. Come on out to the comedy club. You'll see our next guest or lots of other comics, and you'll have a great time. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are really excited tonight to have with us Penny Prince. He's a great comedian. Let me welcome him to the podcast. How you doing?
Pretty good. Thanks for having me.
Oh, no problem. They wrote down some stuff for me. They said that you're hysterical, so we're going to need to see some of that tonight. They also said that you're outrageous. So we're hoping to see some outrageous.
Who's thinking of these adjectives?
These people.
Who wrote that?
I don't know. It just showed up on my desk.
They lied.
So I know that you do some wicked funny observations of things in life and things like that.
I'm an impressionist. I do
impressionist. I wanted to talk about impressions too at some point tonight.
Oh, really?
Because that really inspires me. I can't do any impressions, but yeah. So how are you?
Not too bad.
What have you been doing since this pandemic thing started?
Getting fat.
Yeah.
Eating, my wife's cooking and getting fat.
Oh my God.
Yeah, a lot of people that haven't seen me in a while, they don't recognize me at first because I gained a lot of weight.
Did you? Just from the pandemic?
No. The pandemic, cruise ships.
Cruise ships. Have you done cruise ships?
Yes.
Yeah. Tell me about that.
They were horrible.
Why?
Because you do nothing. You're bored. You're there by yourself. And all you do all day, besides perform, is eat.
Eat the buffet.
And it's great food, too. It's not like, Kraft macaroni and cheese and hot dogs. It's lobster tails and, grilled chicken and pasta and everything like that, 24/7.
So you're doing cruises as an entertainer or as a guest?
As an entertainer.
That's as the audience knows, that's one of my goals is to do a cruise ship comedy thing.
Really?
I've done a couple impromptu things, but so just before the pandemic, I did my 55th cruise as a passenger.
Oh, okay.
So my goal for this next period of time is to figure out how to get a paying gig on a cruise ship. I'll do that. So I've had opportunity.
You will.
I've had opportunity to perform a couple times, and it just kind of like not scheduled, but it was fun. So yeah, so that's always intriguing.
Yeah, it's different as a guest as opposed to being an entertainer.
So one of the things I noticed when the cruise ship comedians, if they're out and about walking around, everybody and their brother is pulling them over and talking to it. Does that bother you? Do you enjoy that?
Yeah, because you become like Mickey Mouse. Imagine like Disney at sea. You can't leave.
No.
And you're Mickey Mouse, and everyone wants you to do your act all over again, and it's just like, I'm just trying to get something to eat right now. So,
so it's like, oh my God.
I don't want to perform. Just come to the show.
Come to the show.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's several of the comedians that we've interviewed in the past few weeks have done cruise ships.
Oh, really?
And it seems like a natural evolution. I always like to tell the story about my friend. He was a professional magician. His name was Ron Jones, and he did cruise ships. And the funny story about that is, part of his act was with a duck, and so like a live duck. And so when he went on the ship, he'd have to take the duck, and the duck would live in the bathtub while he's cruising.
Oh.
And I don't know, I never saw that part of his act, but he did a lot of stuff with fire. And but I don't know.
Was the duck burned in the fire? Was the duck part like?
And
did you put the duck in the fire?
Yeah, roast duck for dessert.
Okay.
But I don't know. I never really saw his act, that part of it. But I did see the stuff he did with fire. He was amazing. Oh my God. He had a female assistant, and her name was Flame. How appropriate, right?
Okay.
But, yeah, so he did a lot of cruise ship stuff, and he really got me motivated and interested into seeing about doing cruise ship. But funny part of that story is he had a duck that traveled with him.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh my God. Imagine going through customs with the duck.
I can't. That'd be that. Yeah, that's
I
another
wonder
hassle.
if they make you hold up the duck and the customs agent looks at the picture of the duck. All right, you can go through. I don't know, right?
Send them through the X-ray.
Yeah. What's in that duck? That's a duck.
The duck has a couple balloons in them.
Yeah, exactly. So one of the things that I know is you do impressions. How'd you get into that?
Being an only child,
Really?
and being weird. Yep.
Your only child?
Yes.
Nice.
I was raised an only child. I found out I have siblings, but I was raised an only child
Yeah.
by my grandparents. So, yeah, there'd be a lot of time I'd just be by myself watching TV, and I would just, watch Bugs Bunny all day, and next thing you know, what's up, Doc? You know? It just happens.
It just happens.
Yeah.
And I know that's a part of your show is to do some impressions and stuff. I'm always blown away by people that can do impressions because I can't do them. I can't even impersonate me.
Really?
So, I don't know.
Oh,
But, so how many characters do you do?
I haven't done inventory in a while. The last time I did inventory was like 07. It was like 115
Really?
back then. Yeah.
From like celebrities to
Cartoon characters. Yeah.
who's your favorite?
My favorite now?
Yeah. Who do you like to do the best?
Al Pacino from The Irishman. Al Pacino as Jimmy Hoffa from The Irishman.
Give us a sample. You knew I was going to put you on the spot.
I
Give
know.
us a sample,
Yeah.
man.
Standing here in front of a bunch of dumb motherfuckers. You know what you did? You let Johnny O'Rourke's kid get 36 fucking grand, and then you let him sell insurance to his fucking fathers. To his fucking fathers! Troubles! Damn it!
I don't want to get too loud, yeah, but that's
Oh my God.
basically Pacino
That was
from The Irishman.
I like it. That's very good.
Thank you.
So that's a lot of hours standing in front of the mirror doing that, right? Because I mean, you
kinda.
got the expressions, you got the hand gestures, you got.
I just seen the movie too many times. That's it. It's not really practicing in front of the mirror. It's just how many times
You know,
have I seen that movie.
my oldest son, he doesn't do comedy or impressions or anything, but oh my God, he can quote almost every line from every movie. So you're talking to him about something, oh, the next thing you know, he's quoting lines from movies, and you go, huh? He goes, oh yeah, this comes from the, really? That's like, oh my God, that's weird.
Yeah, I'm not that
Yeah.
good. I'll just bust into character or whatever.
Yeah,
But,
it's crazy, man. A lot of TV watching. Growing up as the only child, I guess. Okay, I can see where that would. Yeah, that's how you find your friends, like, right?
yeah, kind of. Well, yeah.
Didn't Robin Williams do that too?
Yes, he did. Yeah, he
Yeah.
was the only child, and he did the same thing. Same thing with Jim Carrey. He wasn't the only child though, but he spent a lot of time in front of the mirror.
Did he?
You know.
Yeah, I didn't
making
know about Jim
faces
Carrey, but I
and-
knew about Robin Williams developing his characters because he was the only child. But yeah, that's a great talent, you know.
Now people are gonna think that only children are just weird and we all just like do these voices. Now you're gonna think that the person that you see walking down the street talking to himself, oh, that must be an only child because he's
Or a comedian
crazy.
impressionist.
right.
Yeah. So, all right, I've been avoiding it long enough, Prince. Tell me about your Raider hat. You a big Raider fan?
Yes, every day I wear something Raiders.
Nice.
Every single day.
Yeah.
hmm
Tell me about how long you've been a Raider fan.
Since I was 7.
Yeah. How'd you do that? How'd you become a Raider fan?
Bo Jackson.
Bo Jackson.
Bo Jackson was just dope when I was 7 and 89. Like he was the best thing. The best thing like in sports besides Michael Jordan was Bo Jackson.
So my notes say that you came from Northern California?
Yes.
Where?
Stockton.
Stockton.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So you kind of have to be a Raiders fan, right?
No, you have a choice. You have a
Of?
choice. Well, back then you had a choice of either being a Raider fan or a Niner fan, and believe it or not, back in the day, I actually was a 49er fan.
Okay. So am I.
But that okay, but first of all, the Niners were dope back then. In the
Oh, yeah.
early '80s, like if you lived in Northern California and you weren't a Niner fan, because you got to think like the Raiders were in Los Angeles at this time, so. You know, Joe Montana, Jerry Rice, Roger Craig, they were dominant in the 80s in Northern California. So
I was born and raised in the Bay Area, and so,
okay.
So ever since I can remember, I've been a Raider and a Niner fan, and it continues on today.
You can't do that. You can't
cannot
do
be-
that.
You
You
cannot
can't.
be a fair weather fan.
Okay, so yeah. A's or Giants,
Neither. I don't do baseball.
but you got really.
No, football's it for me.
That's it.
Just I belong to the church of the NFL.
I mean, I don't pay attention to baseball as much as I do football, but I still have to pick A's over Giants.
No, I don't ever remember ever watching a full baseball game or whatever. But
Well, me neither. But still,
in the
A's.
in the '80s was the highlight, man. When the Niners were on the roll.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, it was incredible. You know what my fantasy is? It'll happen one day.
What?
And it was so close in 2002. Raiders Niners Super Bowl.
That would
It
be.
was it was so close in '82, if you remember.
I
2002. 2002.
Oh.
San Diego. Niners lost the last playoff game. Otherwise, it would have been Raiders and Niners in San Diego. And I was like, oh my God. So I was working in the Bay Area, and my wife and I, we got hired to work for the NFL. The NFL has before Super Bowl, they have this NFL experience. And
Okay.
for a week before Super Bowl, they have this giant street party. They close down the whole city, and the NFL just takes over. So they look for volunteers. They have like 10,000 volunteers. So we volunteered that year to go to San Diego and work for the NFL. And I told all my friends I was going. They go, well, how are we going to know where you are? And I go, the Raiders are coming. Just look for the burning cars. I'll be right by them. You'll find me. But oh my gosh, that was the year, if you remember, that was the year Chucky left the Raiders and went to Tampa
Yeah,
Bay.
I remember that.
And Tampa Bay wound up beating the Raiders. But so in San Diego, they had all these people with these Chucky dolls on sticks hanging. It was
Really?
awesome. It was awesome. But yeah, I've been a Raider fan forever. I almost family. The last coach, Jack Del Rio.
Mm-hmm.
He is my cousin's cousin.
Okay.
So he's not really related to me, but close enough, right?
Right.
So when we were all kids in Hayward, which is just south of Oakland, our families would get together
Haystack.
every Sunday. Every Sunday we'd get together and family things. And Jack and his brothers were younger than us, but man, oh man, when he got announced as the head coach, I tried so hard to get a hold of him. But
Really?
he's got this impenetrable circle around him. You can't get to him.
I bet.
I figured I'd get free game tickets and stuff, but I couldn't get to him. I couldn't get anywhere near the guy. But
He was a pretty good coach.
yeah,
I liked
like
him as a
Jack.
coach. He was a pretty
Yeah.
good coach.
he was a great player also.
Yeah.
So he
Turned our team around. So
he did.
Yeah.
So now I heard that he's offensive coach or defensive coach for Panthers or something like that. I don't know.
Oh, really? I
Something.
haven't
Yeah,
heard.
but I never got to make contact with him, so I didn't get any free tickets.
Yeah.
But I'm excited that they're here. I've been waiting for this for a long time, and
I mean, I wasn't for it at first. I mean, obviously, because I'm from Northern California, but there's nothing I can do about it. And plus, Las Vegas is my second home, so if they were gonna go anywhere else, why not Vegas?
I know it's great.
It's better than like San Antonio or San Diego.
Pahrump.
Pahrump.
Yeah.
Shit.
We're not going to Pahrump.
Pahrump.
But yeah,
Never.
so when they announced it, I was like, oh my gosh, this is going to be awesome. The Raiders are coming. Oh my gosh, this is going to be great. It's kind of awkward to see on the field they have painted Las Vegas Raiders. That's
Yeah,
kind of a little
it's
strange.
it's still strange to hear them announce them as the Las Vegas Raiders. A couple of announcers that messed up and still call them the Oakland Raiders.
I've heard that too. Because it's inevitable that they're going to do that. I mean,
Yeah.
they are the Oakland Raiders. I don't care where they are. They're the Oakland Raiders, right?
Yeah,
But
well, until you go to L.A., then they're going to be the L.A. Raiders.
yeah,
matter what,
exactly.
so.
That was kind of rough when they went. I remember when they left. Man, the people in Oakland were livid.
Really?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. And then
I was like one, so I don't
yeah,
remember.
take it from me. They were not happy campers. And then they came back and everybody was all happy again.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
I remember when they came back. Yeah,
they were
that was
all
great.
happy and everything. Did you ever go to any of the games at the Coliseum?
Of course.
Yeah, that was awesome, wasn't it?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know, it
Like this is the first season where I wasn't at the home opener.
really.
Yeah, within the last 4 years.
Yeah.
First time in 4 years I haven't been at the home opener. So.
We used to go to every preseason game when the Raiders would play the Niners. We'd go, and then they stopped doing that because people would die after
A
the
Niner killed a Raider.
game. Ooh. Or
It wasn't the other way around. You would think it's the other way around, but no.
Yeah.
A Niner fan killed a Raider.
So it was like.
Then we couldn't do it.
So what I did, this true story. What I did was, you got both jerseys, right? So I had my wife cut them in half and sew them together. So the front half would be Raiders and the back half would be Niners. And it was like, that was pretty cool. What? I mean, you can't, you like them both.
No, you don't. You don't. You don't. You don't.
Jimmy G,
No,
their quarterback,
you're not supposed to do that.
He's going to be president. Jimmy G.
Of what?
Of the United States. He's going to run for president. He's going to be Jimmy G. But it was a good game.
I'd rather vote for Kanye.
Kanye.
And I don't even care like that. I'd rather vote for Kanye.
Our production team is going, yeah, Kanye for president.
Yeah. Over Jimmy G, like, yeah, no.
So I watched the Raider game this weekend. They I didn't think they showed up in the beginning, but they kind of came back. I thought that was pretty good.
It was pretty decent.
Yeah.
It wasn't like the Raiders got blown out.
Nope.
You know, it was a pretty decent game. And let me just say this: before, I couldn't stand the Patriots. I hated the Patriots. Still can't stand Tom Brady, but I have a new respect for the Patriots now because of Cam.
I love
Newton.
Cam. Cam's an awesome guy. He's having fun. He's like Mahomes.
He is.
They're having
don't
fun, and I
talk
think
about
that's
that
really
Mahomes.
important. They're not. It doesn't appear that they're taking it serious. They're having fun. They're doing a good job, and they're smiling. They're leading the team. They're having a good time. Cam's great. I love Cam.
He is. He had
And
a lot to prove.
Russell
and he's-
Wilson. I like Russell Wilson too. Seattle.
Russ is yeah.
I love his
Seattle's
hair.
okay.
I don't know what he did to his hair, but
His
oh my
hair?
God. Oh jeez. I'm gonna do mine like that one
With
day.
the curls and everything,
Yeah.
looking like Razor Ramon.
I don't know. I'm gonna do that one day to my hair. Podcast
Okay.
27.
Okay.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Oh
Send me a
my
picture of that one. I want to see that.
That'll be really good. But yeah, so during this pandemic, I mean, all the comics we've talked to, pandemic hit, all the shows we had lined up all got canceled. Same thing with you.
Actually, I'm semi-retired. I've been semi-retired for the last 5 years.
Really?
Yeah.
Not doing any comic?
Nope.
Really?
I retired at 33.
Wow. How nice is that?
Great.
So what do you do? Sit around?
Same thing a retired person does. Sit around, you know. I got into stop motion animation
Oh, really?
by accident. Yeah, so I make I make shitty stop motion movies using action figures.
Like the claymation thing? Is that so? I don't know.
Kinda, but it's just with action figures. So I made this movie back in March called White Boys in the Hood. And it's with all South Park characters. So yeah, go on YouTube, Sound Alike Studios.
What does it sound alike?
Sound Alike Studios, yeah. And
Look that up. Sound
yeah,
Alike
Sound
Studios.
Alike Studios, and look for White Boys in the Hood,
That's
starring all South Park toys, voiced by me. So
how funny is that? Is that the only movie you've done, or have you done others?
that's the only like major thing that I've done, and it was just out of, just came out of nowhere.
Really? So I mean, you just one day.
I was just one day, it was just like, I just fell into stop motion animation. I had a whole bunch. I collect action figures, so once I figured out that I can make them talk, it was over.
It was all over.
It was over.
I'll look that up tonight when I go home. How funny is that?
Okay.
Talking about the football game, they haven't had fans.
Excuse me.
They haven't had fans in the stand, and so they were doing I don't know, one of the newscasts the other day. They'd taken all these cardboard cutouts of the South Park characters.
I know. I hate the Denver Broncos, but I love that they did that. That was cool.
So for the audience, if you haven't seen it, so you can't have a live audience at the football game. The fans can't go, so they're piping in fan music on these loudspeakers so that the players kind of have a realistic sound thing going on. But in the stands, instead of there being empty seats, they've taken and made all these cardboard cutouts. And Shaq O'Neal was up there,
Yeah.
Shaquille O'Neal, and all the South Park figures. It was hilarious. Yeah, it was
Next time they lose, it just should be like Cartman
Yeah.
sounds all through the stadium. Screw you guys, I'm going home.
I'm going home.
That's it.
That's funny.
And they all just get up and leave.
But yeah, so I've been a football fan forever, and it's like the only sport I really watch.
Okay. No soccer?
No, soccer. I had to take my boys to soccer.
Really? How was
I got-
that?
Oh, I got burned out. That was like every Saturday for the whole day. These little twerps playing soccer, and the younger they are, the more they like to watch airplanes. So instead of kicking the ball, they're watching airplanes.
Oh, yeah.
Squirrel. But yeah, so no, I don't soccer. My oldest son, it's the only kid I ever saw get a red card.
Oh, really?
Kicked out of the game. Red card out.
I don't even know how you get. I'm not into soccer.
I don't know how you get it either. But I mean, the yellow cards, it's like a penalty, right?
It is.
Production. Prove that you get so many of those and blah, 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 blah. But if you get a red card, that's not good. My oldest, only one.
So what? You got kicked out of the whole game after that, or
Yeah.
like, how's it?
Got booed out of the whole game.
Damn.
So it's like, oh my God, how does that happen? Yeah. So no, I don't do soccer. I kind of got into hockey, ice hockey.
Okay, I can only get into hockey if I'm there watching the game in person.
Mm-hmm.
If I can't get into it, same thing with basketball. I can't get into basketball until like the fourth quarter unless I'm actually at the game. But hockey is very interesting.
I don't know anything about the rules or how they get penalties or any of that kind of stuff, but it's an active sport. It's a lot of fun to watch.
It is, especially when they fight.
I know. I was telling everybody I went to a fight once and a hockey game broke out.
But when you're sitting like right there,
I
next
know.
to the glass, and they fight like right in front of you. Like,
I know. We used
cool.
to go. So we lived in Southern California. I worked at Edwards Air Force Base, and so we'd go to the Bakersfield Condors. It's they're AA team.
Okay.
And the Condors had a stadium in Bakersfield, so we drive up to Bakersfield and go to the Condors game. Every week there'd be a fight. This one particular time, the opposing team, they didn't like the fans, so they tore down the glass and went into the stands and started beating up the fans. So my boys, all of a sudden, next thing you know, they're running over there to get in the brawl.
Oh,
Get
wow.
back here, you little maniacs. But it's a lot of fun.
It's like a bar fight on ice. That's
I know, right?
basically a hockey game.
I know. And then in those days, this was many years ago, it wasn't a requirement to wear a helmet. And it's like,
What, playing hockey?
yeah, it wasn't a requirement. It was optional. And so it's like, oh,
wow.
my God. So it's like there were guys with teeth missing and no helmet.
Yeah, I didn't know.
So I always, whenever I watch like the Knights or anything, or any of the other National League professional hockey players, they all have these really long French names.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, do they go out and look up those names, or are those their real names? Right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's the French side of Canada where they're
I
getting
don't
it
know.
from.
I don't know. But yeah. So before you retired from comedy, how long did you do it?
10 years.
10 years?
Yes.
Yeah. And then you just said enough of this.
Mm-hmm. And then I got more into voiceover work,
Oh,
more freelance voiceover work. I've been doing that for like 5 years.
yeah.
So I've been in entertainment show business for 20 years.
Really?
Together with radio, because I started out in radio, then went into stand up. No, started stand up, radio, back to stand up, voiceover work.
I'm really intrigued by voiceover. It was one of the things I thought about looking into. Tell the audience about voiceover. How do you do it? What does it entail?
Pretty much voiceover is like everything you hear is voiceover. Like even when you're like, you know, in the shopping mall and you hear somebody over the loudspeaker, that's voiceover work. It's not only just movies and trailers and cartoons and stuff like that, you know. I got into it more freelance. I just threw myself into it, just watched a lot of videos on how to do it, and got different copy from old commercials, and I read that copy and just made a demo out of that, and that's pretty much how I got into it. So I started my own company, Sound Alikes Voice Talent, May of 2015.
So voiceover was stuff like Samuel L. Jackson does that.
Say what again? I dare you. I double dare you, motherfucker. All right. Can't curse, so I had to stop it right there.
I went blank on the name. The guy that does this is CNN. What's his
Oh,
name?
James Earl Jones?
James Earl Jones. I
Can't
love that
forget
guy.
him. That's Darth Vader.
Darth, yeah.
That's Mufasa. Simba,
your
you
father.
are my son.
Yeah, and then who's the other guy? I'll think of it in a second. But yeah, voiceover is pretty cool. I like that.
Yeah.
They who's that? I just went blank. Now I'm more interested in my head thinking of who am I thinking of? But
My favorite was Mel Blanc.
oh yeah.
Yeah, because he was the guy that did Bugs and Daffy and Barney Rubble and Heathcliff.
And you would never know that it was the same person doing those voices.
Yeah, like it took me by surprise. Like I seen this old video of him like right before he passed, and it was just remarkable to see these voices just come out of this old guy that you would, you know, he just looked like a regular guy that you would see hanging around at a bowling alley.
Yeah.
But like, you know, all of a sudden it's love friend succotash and Tweety and all that other stuff coming out. It was crazy.
Okay, I got the guy's name, Sam Elliott. I love Sam Elliott's voice. Can you do that? Can you do him?
Yeah, but I gotta be like real close to the mic.
Do it.
Beef,
Get the production
it's
team.
what's for dinner. It sounds better when I'm like in the booth, but
Sam Elliott.
I can do it.
I love his voice. He's a cool voice. I like that guy. Cool guy in general.
He is the voice of the West.
Yes, he is. When you think of the West,
It's him.
Voice.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a voiceover work. When I was a lot younger, I thought about doing that. What really got me going was my oldest son had braces on his teeth, and so when I call the dentist's office, all the girls go, "Ooh, you ought to do radio work. You ought to do voiceover work because you have such a good voice." And I thought,
Speaking of which, like when the whole pandemic happened, I needed to go to the dentist because I had a tooth that needed to be pulled. Of course, that couldn't happen, so I did it myself. I pulled my own tooth. But now I can do Sylvester better because I don't have a tooth right here. So Sylvester's suffering succotash. It's dead on. So
oh my God.
that's a war wound. I don't think I'm gonna get it replaced because I want it to be a reminder of what I had to do during the quarantine.
We all have to. We all have to sacrifice, right?
Had to take that thing out.
Did you
the
tie
pliers?
Okay, so did you tie a string to the door?
No, just got some pliers and just
Oh, ouch! That hurts.
numbed it real quick with
Really? What'd you numb it with?
I used some ice at first.
Oh.
Put some ice on there for a while. And then after that, just
I thought you were going to say Everclear.
said F it and just
Oh,
popped it out.
that
It
hurts.
wasn't that bad. It really wasn't that bad. It wasn't that painful. It wasn't that messy. Sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Like the
Just
guy.
be careful. If you have to do that, just go straight down. Don't go this way or that way because you're gonna break something off and it's gonna be worse. Just go straight down. Penny's Home Dental Remedies.
Oh, yeah.
I'm
And
gonna start a new channel.
And then drink whiskey.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's.
drink whiskey.
Oh,
Absolutely. I didn't afterward.
you're a better man than I am. I couldn't do that. I can't even do needles. When they
Really?
come at me to take blood,
So no tattoos?
no.
Ah.
I'm getting one though.
Really?
It's going to be a QR code on my chest because I'm getting older, and
No.
all I have to do is scan it. My name, my address, free postage, throw in any mailbox.
Wow.
That'll be it. But a QR code, that's going to be my tattoo.
Believe it or not, I have 7, but they're all
Really?
covered. You can't see them. So. That's because I didn't want my grandmother to see them when I got them. So I had to keep showing them.
So is that the rule? They have to be where grandma can't see them on purpose?
That was a rule back then. That was a rule when I was like 16, 17, but
Not now?
no, not at 38. No.
No.
I'm done. I'm done getting tattoos. As a matter of fact, I'm done. I don't have a fear of needles, but I'm done.
I do. Every time they come at me with those needles, like to take blood for a test or whatever, and I always freak them out because I go, "You only get one chance."
Well, do you look? Do you look?
No,
when they're
hell
taking
no.
it?
Are you serious? I'd be passed out.
No, you got to be a daredevil, man.
No,
You got to
man.
look.
No. But one time, one of the nurses said, "Don't do that to us. That freaks us out, and then we have a hard time doing it." So now I
Well,
just,
when
when you tell them you only get one chance, and it's like, oh my God. So I get a bullet. I bite on this bullet, but
It's not that bad.
I am not a needle person.
It's not that bad. They're just gonna take a
2
pint or a
gallons.
gallon or 2 from you.
But
It's all right.
Yeah.
You'll live.
No, geez, no, me and needles. I've been disabled all my life, and I've had many surgeries. And people go, "Well, why are you so freaked out about needles?" It's because they're freaky. I hate them things. I don't know what the deal is. Don't be sticking me with needles, God. But oh yeah, that's pretty cool. So voiceovers. You do. Let me look at my notes. I'm waiting for the hysterical stuff.
Again, I've been so retired. I don't,
Yeah.
it doesn't happen like that. It's more
So
subdued now.
you said that you lived in Stockton. Is that where you grew up mostly? Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Stockton was so I lived in the Bay Area in Newark, and Stockton. My aunt and uncle lived in Stockton.
Really?
Yeah, they lived in this trailer park that was near where the 99 and the.
I was
5
about to say off the 99, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it was a long time. This was way back a long time ago. And so when we'd head out to go to Stockton to go visit them, it was like an all-day trip in those days because there wasn't real freeways or anything.
Everyone tells me that.
Yeah, it was like the boonies. Now Stockton is a suburb of the Bay Area. It's like
Stockton is just one big hood.
I know.
There's even the nice parts are real, just the hood parts. It's just one big ghetto.
But even back in the day, back when I was a kid, it was not a really a real dynamic place. I don't know why my aunt and uncle lived there, but
I miss Stockton back in the day more than the Stockton of now, because at least there were things to do. When I was a kid, we had water slides, we had miniature golf and everything, but they took all that down, and there's nothing for the kids to do. That's why there's so much crime out there. So,
was there a water slide in Stockton, or was it the one that was in just
Manteca?
Manteca.
No, Stockton had a small little water park. It had 2 slides, but it was more of a miniature golf place. But the main water park was in Manteca.
Yeah, that was an all-day trip to go out there and visit with the aunt and uncle. To Squeaky Chair.
Yeah, I was just like, what is
that?
that? Oh, you thought it was me?
This the
No,
chair.
it'd be louder than that.
Yeah, so for the folks at home.
I'll blow everyone in this room out.
But man, when was the last time you were up there?
What, Manteca or Stockton?
Stockton, both, the whole area.
I was in Stockton. Last time I was in Stockton was June 15th.
It's changed, hasn't it?
It has.
Oh my God.
Not for the good.
Well, it's just one big metropolitan area now. Everything,
Yes.
everywhere you look, is just built up. It's insane. In Modesto, that used to be a real drive to go to Modesto from the Bay Area. And when I was working for NASA in Mountain View, my boss commuted from Modesto.
Oh, really?
And I thought,
Well, you know who's from Modesto, right?
who?
George Lucas.
Oh yeah, George Lucas and somebody else. I'll think of it in a minute. One blank again. The magnesia's kicking in. But yeah. So my boss, I drove in from Modesto, and I thought, oh my God, that's a lot. But not anymore. Oh man, it's like insane. The place has changed. The little town that I grew up in, Newark. When I grew up there, they didn't have any buses, no taxis, no theaters. No, nothing. You'd have to go to the next city.
So it must have been really, really small. You must have been like able to just walk everywhere.
It was pretty much that was it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's still that way now. It's the city of Newark is surrounded by the city of Fremont. You can't get out of Newark without going through Fremont.
Okay. I know where you're at now.
And so Fremont that's where everything was. They had the mall, they had the theaters, they had all the drive-through restaurants, all that kind of stuff. But it was a little one-horse town back in the day. But now it's, oh my God.
Yeah,
insane.
I mean, that's Silicon Valley.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
There, so.
But yeah, so it's
Everything's not just built up; it's state of the art. Like the AAA is state of the art. You know, all the libraries are state of the art. Like it's not just it's not just regular.
Have you ever been over to the Google campus?
Not.
Oh my God.
No, not really. I've been to YouTube.
Yeah.
I've been to YouTube. I've seen parts of where they were building the Apple campus. I've seen I've seen little bits and pieces of Google, but not.
It's massive. Crazy place. That whole place has just exploded. I mean, I can remember back in the old days, you could drive and be out in the wilderness in no time, but not now. It's crazy. And just for a little factoid, so my whole family, there were 6 kids in my family, so I could do impressions of my brothers. But
so you can do impressions, okay? You try to say you can't do impressions. You just can't do impressions of people that we all know. But
yeah, my brothers, right? But so we all grew up in this little teeny house. It was 3 bedrooms, 1 bath, and it had a little 1-car garage that you couldn't even get a modern car into. And so my parents bought that house in 1946, and they paid $7,000 for it, which was an outrageous amount of money in those days. And so the last time I was up there last year, I just kind of drove by to see the last time it sold. About 2 years ago was $795,000 for this little 1,000 square foot home.
That he paid $7,000 for.
700.
700.
And they paid 7. You know what the realtors always say: location, location, location. Right? Yeah, man. I mean, holy Toledo! It's like, oh, geez. But things change. Bay Area is crazy. My son lives in Sonoma. He does hot air ballooning.
Okay.
And so, Sonoma's on fire. And so I texted him today, making sure they're all safe. I go, how's it going up there? He goes, smoky.
Yeah, I
But,
bet.
So he still
like
lives.
that.
He lives up there, and so I went up there last year, and I just can't believe how much the place has changed. It's insane.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Yeah. So other than doing voiceovers and the stop action movies, what other kind of hobbies do you have?
I don't think I can say that on camera. I'm Cheech and Chong. I'll put it like that. I'm Cheech and Chong and Snoop.
Snoop. Okay.
All in one. So, there. So if you can't get it from there, what I like to do, what my other hobby is, I can't help you.
Have you ever been to one of their concerts, Cheech and Chong? Have you been?
Cheech and Chong, no. Snoop, yes. That was the highest I've ever been, was at a Snoop concert. That was last year. That was on 422. That was insane. Insane. Sorry. My bad. But, yeah. I don't know if I can go more in depth, but it was just a thick fog. It was worse than matter of fact, I've been to a reggae concert, and it was worse than going to a reggae concert. And the reggae concert, again, I went to a Ziggy Marley concert back in 06, and it was a thick cloud of smoke. It was thicker than that at the Snoop concert.
Oh my God.
And he had dancers on stage. And that's all I'm going to say.
That's all I'm gonna say.
The dancers were on poles. That's all I'm going to say.
Oh, piqued the audience interest.
Yep.
We went several years ago. We went to a Cheech and Chong concert, and I think they piped that smoke through the HVAC system.
Nah, people
because
brought that.
It was like, oh my God, I don't know. It was pretty incredible.
Trust me, people brought that.
Yeah, they were still pretty funny. When I was growing up, when I was in high school, Cheech and Chong were very popular, and
I bet.
they're
Still are.
They're pretty funny guys for being as old as I am.
Mm-hmm.
They're still pretty funny guys, and they had Tommy Chong's wife was up there too. She's a comedian. Can't remember her name, but she did a pretty.
Does she smoke too, man?
Oh hell yeah, man!
Oh, you're all right, man.
All right.
Yeah, okay, cool, man. That's what we do, man. We roll it up and light it up, man. Get you right in the boo-boo too. All right, I'm done.
my favorite Cheech and Chong routine was Santa and his old lady, Santa Claus and his old lady.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, oh my God, you have to hear that. So for the audience, it's about a 10-minute skit, audio, and it talks about Santa and his old lady, and they lived in a commune, and they'd sprinkle magic dust on Santa, and it was hilarious. But look it up; it's really funny. Cheech and Chong, but yeah, so that was a good concert. We enjoyed that. Brought back a lot of memories, man. Oh my God.
Hey.
But yeah, so the pandemic. Let's talk about the pandemic. Has that affected your voiceover stuff? Or do you make that happen for yourself?
I pretty much make it happen for myself. Honestly, no, I don't think so. Because again, I work in my pajamas at home, so and people just send me different scripts. So it's not like I have to go out and meet with people and record at a studio or anything like that. It's so no, it's kind of slowed up a little bit.
Yeah.
From like month to month, but
I think that's the best thing that came out of the pandemic is we all learned that we can work from home. We don't have to go to an office every day. Well,
I'm very antisocial. I'm like, most of the other comedians here in town that know me will tell you I'm a recluse. I stay at home. So this pandemic was perfect for me because I just love being at home anyway.
So it worked out perfect for you.
Oh yeah.
And now you get paid for working from home. How cool is that, right?
Yeah. It was great.
A recluse.
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Why am I a recluse?
Yeah, that's interesting.
I don't like people. Even though I'm a comedian, I don't like people. People get on my nerves. People get on my damn nerves.
My last nerve.
I'm sorry, yes.
My grandma used to say, you're on my last nerve. Oh,
yeah.
Okay, right?
Yeah. So, I don't know. I just like my company more than others a lot of times.
That's good.
I don't know what else to say.
That's okay.
Yeah, sometimes I'm like the Grinch.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, and every time I watch that movie, I cheer for the Grinch. I agree with the Grinch. The Grinch was cool. Cut the Grinch some slack.
Yeah, the Grinch.
I'm like a Blinch.
Yeah, bunch of black Grinch.
You got it. He's getting it.
Yeah, right. I'm smarter than I look. I said that to somebody one time. I said, I'm smarter than I look. And just as quick as I said that, my friend goes, you'd almost have to be. I thought that was rude.
This guy.
But, yeah, so do you have kids?
No, not yet.
Oh, you needed some of those.
Why? Why does everyone say that?
Oh, because you're not, oh my gosh, you haven't lived until you've had kids.
We can wait on that.
Yeah, I grew up with
Wait on that.
6 kids in my family, and it was like mayhem. Growing up in that small house I told you, it was like, oh my God, it was yeah, it's but kids, if you ever consider doing it, it's a long haul, but it's well worth it. At the other
Really?
end. Yeah.
I like to go to
Especially with
Disneyland.
grandkids.
Like I've been a Disney guy.
Yeah.
Since I was a kid. I like to go to Disneyland as an adult by myself, and I don't go for the rides really, but I go because I like to go to Disneyland and watch all the other parents with their kids and they're crying and everything and just they're miserable. It makes my trip that much more enjoyable because they're miserable. Why are you bringing your child who is under 5 years old to Disney? They're not going to remember it.
No.
Parents, look, your little infant children, even a 2-year-old, they're not going to remember their Disney trip. Save yourself some aggravation. Wait until they're at least like 7, something like that. Then take them to Disneyland. At least let them remember the misery.
Don't do it after that.
Let them remember being in that long-ass line for 3 hours to get on a ride that's like 2 minutes.
If they hit 10, then they start giving you a bunch of flack. Right?
They do. They
Yeah,
do.
they don't
But,
do that either. But so I did a Disney cruise.
Really, that was the first cruise I ever went on.
Disney?
Was Disney.
Did
when
you
I was
like it?
6. Yeah, I was 6, of
Oh,
course.
okay. Yeah, of course you did.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh boy, wow!
Loved it.
we did a 2-week cruise from Barcelona, Spain to New York, and it was 2 weeks.
That's
And-
too long.
No, there were no kids because it was a repositioning cruise where it's only going one way. And people
Okay.
can't take their kids out of school for 2 weeks to go on a cruise and then have to fly them back from New York, right? So
rich
out
ones
of
can.
all the people on the cruise, there were probably just a small percentage of kids. It was a blast. The adults we had run of the ship. It was the coolest ever. Disney has, all the characters are running around talking to people, and oh my God, it was awesome. And the food was spectacular. It was really cool. So
I know.
do one now, man. Now that you're older, go do a Disney.
I'm not doing any more cruises.
You could do some great
No, I'm
observational.
not.
No.
Penny doesn't do cruises anymore, ladies
You
and
could get
gentlemen.
some observational comedy.
Not as an entertainer, not as a guest. I'm not doing cruises anymore. I'm done.
Oh, but you get great comedy material.
I
Just
know.
watching the people. Oh my
I'm good.
God. No.
I'm
you're
good.
retired. That's fine.
Yeah, I can use that material on land.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm good.
I guess so. I guess that's it, right?
Yeah, I'm good.
No Disney cruise for you, huh?
No cruises, period.
At all, right?
I'm done.
Yeah. Well, there are no cruises. All the cruise
I've
ships.
worked about 4 cruises. I've been a passenger and a guest on about 7. I'm good.
Really?
I'm good. I'm good.
Wow.
Done.
That's it, huh?
That's it. Done with cruises.
Well, they're not having any cruises. All the cruise lines have canceled all their cruises till
bet.
next year. Yeah, they're all the boats are parked. Yep.
Yeah.
Until this pandemic thing gets over.
And you're talking about doing that trip that was like 2 weeks, just
Yeah.
one way.
Just one way.
I'm good.
No? You'll like this
Too
story.
close to like the middle passage for me. I'm good.
In 2013, my wife decided that we needed to go on a longer cruise. We did a 48-day cruise. 48 days on a cruise ship. Yeah. From LA to New York around South America. It was awesome. Time went by just like that. It was incredible. We had such a great time. We did a lot of old people were on the cruise, and so a bunch of us younger people.
Yes.
Hold on. Funny story. So a bunch of us younger people, we were all techno geeks and everything. I brought our GPSs and all that kind of stuff. And so when you're going to cross the equator, all these old people were asking, well, how do you know when you cross the equator? So we had to play with them. We said, well, there's a little bump in the road and there's a little laser line where the equator is. So we're going to cross at 2 a.m. So just you'll feel the little bump and you'll know we crossed the equator. Really? Yeah. They took a hook, line, and sinker. It was awesome. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
48 days. It was. You should do that. That'd be kind of fun. You could think
Hell
all the
no.
buffets you could go to.
No.
No.
And old people on cruises are brutal. So
Yeah.
yeah.
The
Because they run the ship. They run the ship. It's more gray-haired people, elderly people. I'm not talking.
point.
It's more elderly people than people my age or
Yeah.
even your age. I'm talking about elderly.
Yeah, and that's true. So like on this particular cruise, I
Floating rest home.
yeah, pretty much. 7 people died on this cruise.
Yeah, they got a morgue downstairs, down the bottom of the ship.
The freezer.
Yep.
Yep. So so on this cruise. So anyway, the average age we calculated. The average age was 83, and that's pretty old. And so even-
Average.
Average
Keyword,
age.
average.
Average. And so the captain was even really old. And you know how we know that the captain was old? Because he left the left blinker on the whole trip. So you know he had to be pretty old.
Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah. So
He's here all week.
yeah, I'll be in the lounge all week. Tip your waiters. But
Excuse me.
48 days. That was a long.
I can't do
trip.
that. That's. I don't know how you did that.
It was pretty cool. How about the one just a couple years before that? We were on a cruise to Mexico, and the ship caught fire, and went dead in the water and drifted for 5 days before a tugboat hooked onto it and towed us back to San Diego.
So why are you trying to get me to keep
'Cause
going
it's
on
an
cruises?
adventure, man.
Well, no, because you just
It's an adventure.
said 2 mishaps that
But-
happened to you on cruise ships.
But it was fun. When I write my
Yeah, that's
book,
okay.
when I write my book, these are going to be awesome chapters in my book, right?
Yeah, in your book, in my book, I don't think they'd be published because I might not survive.
Yeah, you will.
I wouldn't even have a chance to write a book.
Yeah, you will.
No, because
Yeah.
crazy
Everybody-
shit happens.
Everybody should write a book.
ships.
Everybody's got cool stories to tell
They do.
that everybody should share. But yeah, so let's see. So when the pandemic thing gets over, I'm hoping that it gets over pretty soon. We gotta get back to normal, right? Or whatever.
Good luck with that.
You don't think? What's your prediction?
You really want to know?
Yeah, our studio audience wants to know.
Things are gonna get worse.
Really?
Things are gonna get better, but they're gonna get so much worse before they get better.
What's your prediction? What do you mean get worse?
That's all I'm gonna say. Things
all
are
I'm
gonna
gonna
get
say.
better, but they're gonna get so much worse
Really?
before they get better.
That's kind of
Just watch. You'll feel it. You'll feel it.
that's kind of mystifying. Cryptic, a little cryptic.
There you go.
That's
You'll feel it in the air.
really. If you feel it in the air tonight.
Exactly.
That's right. And then the drum solo. That's right. So anyway, but well, one of the terrible jobs that I have during these podcasts is to bring them to a close, and that's always the saddest time of podcasts.
Now it's time to say goodbye to all my company.
But yeah, so this is always the sad part of the podcast is when we have to bring them to a conclusion. But I really had a great time. You're an amazing person. I really love
Thank you.
hearing the things that you're doing.
I try.
So if people want to find you on social media, to see your remind us again where we can find your stop action videos.
Check out White Boys in the Hood
on
Sound Alike Studios on YouTube.
Sound Alike Studios.
Sound Alike Studios. So yeah, you'll see a silhouette of a parrot with the purple background, and yeah, it's black and purple. That's Sound Alike Studios, and that's where you'll find my stop motion masterpiece, White Boys in the Hood.
White Boys in the Hood. So that's the assignment for the audience, is to go out and see that video. We'll expect a full report at the next podcast. So with that, this is podcast number 25.
I was really like Cheech and Chong when I made it, so I just gotta put that out there. So.
But that's all I can say.
That's all I can say. So
Can't say no more.
hope you enjoy it.
Yep.
White Boys in the Hood sounded like Studios YouTube.
Exactly. But I really appreciate your time. Appreciate
Thank
you
you.
coming out
Thanks
for
for
tonight.
having me. I don't know how to do it now.
I don't either. I don't know how to do
Yeah.
it. But so with that, ladies and gentlemen, we'll see you at the next podcast. We really appreciate your watching us, and we'll see you next time. Good night.
Peace.